brand new group that our producer really thinks are going to go a very long way indeed. From Glasgow, Travis, ladies and gentlemen.
We just moved to London. We just got a record deal. We'd only just signed the record deal, I think, the day before. And we got word through that we were going to do later with Jools Holland, so we were...
Because Mark, the producer, had come to see us, hadn't he?
Yeah.
At rehearsals, and it was just like... It was weird, we were kind of standing there giving it something. It was just like 4 people kind of sitting on the sofa, watching us like that.
It was like, what do you call it? Fame?
It was like Pop Idol.
Pop Idol.
And so then suddenly we were kind of doing it. It was before we recorded a record or anything like that, so it was absolutely our very first thing that we did, and it was terrifying.
Cool, and I remember at the end of that, like going, like letting out this big sigh after the first song. It was kind of quite a relief.
Today I'll stay okay.
Because you watch later. I mean, I watch later all the time, and all through the years, you know, you'd see Jools he'd go up to the camera and he'd be like, "Ladies and gentlemen, da-da-da."
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Travis.
You'd be watching it from, you know, your bedroom into the telly, and then suddenly it was the other way around, you know, and here he was, and he was doing it to you.
With good feeling, please welcome Travis.
I've got a good feeling, like I know how I'm feeling, scraping me off the ceiling, back to that good feeling.
Lionel Richie was sound checking. He did Easy, and everyone was sitting around in the sound check going, "Wow, it's Lionel Richie."
We were sitting doing the backing vocal.
And yeah, and at the end of it, I said, like, I think I said it a bit too loud. I was like, "That's really good, Lionel, but could you do it again, just with a little feeling?" And he sort of kind of went like that, and we were all like, "Oh no, shit, you heard this? Oh damn."
We're going to get chucked out.
Yeah, but we didn't get chucked out.
Finding hard living, wasting our time giving. When will they all giving into that good feeling, into that good feeling, into that good feeling.
Everyone always talks about that first, us being on it, like, for the first time, as a moment, and it was a moment.
But now let's move to this corner, a band who have had a runaway success this year. Please welcome Travis.
Yeah, that was the second time we were on later. It was every time you go on later, there's always kind of something going on. But the first time and the second time, I think, were definitely the best.
I want to see what people saw.
That was amazing. That was probably one of my favourite experiences of the many laters that we've done. But yeah, Paul coming up and kind of, Paul Macca, coming up and kind of saying, "Yeah, you're a good little band," you know. And just kind of, he started playing one of our songs. We were doing Turn, I think it was. And then there was some kind of technical thing happening, so there was a little break, and he started playing it on his bass, and I was like, no way.
And Dave Gilmore trying to work out the guitar part, the on Turn, and he couldn't work it out. He was all like, you could see him across we were directly opposite them, and he's like going, We're like, wow, Pink Floyd can't work out our hooks.
It's too simple. the really good thing about the show, is that all the bands kind of they're all checking each other out, and so you get to kind of go to a little gig basically, and it's really exciting to see these kind of legends up close.
Why does it always rain on me? Is it because I lied when I was 17? Why does it always rain on me? Even when the sun is shining, I can't avoid the light.
And then you get there from 2 o'clock till 4.
Yeah, do sound rehearsal and then go away and wait around and then do a camera rehearsal. Yeah. And you kind of see us seeing people kind of wandering about, going, oh, they're here, oh, Flaming Lips, excellent. You know, and then basically it's kind of recorded as live. So all the bands are there and you're just kind of waiting your turn, you know, and you know who you're on after, and it's kind of like, okay then, you just go for it.
I get the strangest feeling alone. Why does it always rain on me?
You know when you're doing your sound check, but there's no other bands around, but it's all their equipment. It's like the skeleton of the band, you know, without the meat on top, and it's just all kind of weird. And you always go and nosy about and check out, you know, their guitars and what kind of kit they're
And
using.
detune them.
Yeah. Sabotage their equipment.
Your driftwood floating underwater, breaking into pieces, pieces, pieces. Just driftwood, hollow and of no use. Waterfalls will find you, grind you.
It's always been very kind of, there's been a lot of camaraderie and everyone kind of go, oh, it's great, I love that song, da da da. So it's such a nice show to do. And I think that's a lot to do with Jools, because he's just so kind of enthusiastic and such a kind of music fan.
Waterfalls will find you, grind you, and you really didn't think it would happen, but it really is the end of the line.
The jam at the beginning of the show is something I always look forward to, because it's usually very easy to sort of play along with, and he sort of decides what key you're going to be in, and then before the cameras roll he tells everyone what the key is. We all have a little practice and then we go straight into it. Personally, because I'm a frustrated drummer, to see like 5 drummers all trying to drum together is magic. They're all kind of watching each other. It's cool. I think that Later is responsible for so many British groups getting their act together, and because you know, when you're on the dole, you sit there and you're like, and it's seeing bands doing the thing that you really want to do, and you realise that, you know, it's possible,
And it's exciting.
Colder, crying over your shoulder. Colder, tell her everything's gonna be fine. Surely you will go to hurry, hurry, 'cause no one's gonna stop. Nah, 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 and if you see.
There's bands playing live, and I don't think there's not many shows about that have bands kind of on doing what they do, and people kind of get a little glimpse of that.
it's the only one at the moment.
Yeah.
Read it in the headlines, watch it on the TV, put it in the back.
It's like a great kind of amalgam of all the good music TV that there's been, and I think it just appeals across the board. You know, having all the bands together doing it at once, it does create a kind of little frisson of kind of electricity or some kind of chemistry. And you can't have all those talents and egos in one room without it being kind of exciting, you know?
Television man is crazy, same but juvenile delinquent wrecks. Man, I need TV when I got T-Rex. I'm a Jew man. All the young dudes carry the news.
From UK to America and all over the world, Jools' show is regarded as one of the best for, you know, if you're a proper band, you know, for playing.
Well, there's no other show like it. It's a classic format, and it should go on and on.